Greetings, everyone. This is Trey Jadlow. I'm here on this 8th day of February 2021, and I'm here with my new friend John, whom I just met a little while ago on a skeptical, I think it's a theist and atheist webpage on MeWe. And I asked him if he would be willing to come along and have a conversation regarding our different perspectives. I'm a born-again Christian, and I am assuming, I think that he is an atheist, and he was kind enough to entertain a conversation regarding basically the existence of God or atheism, whatever direction he'd like to take it. And so welcome, John. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. So,
would you mind telling me a little bit about yourself? Maybe, I don't know, any background. I always like to get a little background of people, and then I'll tell you about myself. I mean, if you could tell me like any interesting information that you might want to divulge, whatever you feel comfortable with, like where you live or what you do or anything like that, and then maybe where you are regarding religion, and maybe a little background as to how you got there, and I'd be happy to share my story as well.
Okay. I live in Europe, in Scandinavia. And I've been an atheist for about 35 years, I believe. So I'm just past 50 years old. I'm basically an atheist, and I think the term best describing my view on it is strong atheist.
Okay.
And so I'm an agnostic atheist. If that makes sense, I can justify that if you want to. I was born into I'm a cultural Christian, of course. This is a predominantly Christian country.
Mm-hmm.
And I was quite devout Christian when I was young, I believe. I had a Christian confirmation, if that's what you call it. So right about then I started to question and arrived at this, I would call it an atheist standpoint.
Okay, now would you say, were you Lutheran or Catholic, or what was your denominational background?
It's Lutheran.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, most are in Scandinavia. Okay, well, that's great. Thank you for that. And so what was the? Well, let me just tell you about myself first as well, and then maybe I'll go a little further. It's funny, we're actually quite similar. I'm American though, but I'm 50. I'm 50. Let's see, how old am I?
Keeping count.
54, I guess. And I had been a Christian about close to 35 years as well, on the opposite side there. And so I live in Kansas. I'm right in the center of the United States. And I've been here almost all my whole life. I spent 4 years down in Arkansas. That's where I became a Christian. I went to a youth missions organization, and I was married, or I met my wife down there, and we were married, and sadly I'm divorced. I've got 6 kids, ages 30 down to 17, 3 boys, 3 girls. And I'm a dental lab technician by trade. I just a little one-man shop here. I make crown and bridge work for dentists. And I really enjoy Socratic dialogue. I like talking about ideas and sharing ideas. And one of the benefits, I think, of the internet is that we have this glorious capacity to connect with people, halfway around the world, where we've never had something like that before. So the connectivity issue is really, really something beautiful, I think. And I've had a lot of conversations with people in Western Europe, and I have some friends, actually some atheists, pretty good atheist friends, and in Great Britain. And so I enjoy just having these conversations and exchanging ideas. And it's kind of hard anymore to find somebody who want to talk. Like I said, I rather tease the guys in the post or in a pager right now because none of them will. They'll take pot shots. I could tell. I looked at your page. I could tell you're a little more serious and mature in your perspective. I think you probably are more thoughtful than most of the guys I interact with. So I'm grateful for that, and I enjoy having an opportunity to exchange our ideas, and maybe hopefully we can learn something from each other and expand our horizons a bit here. So may I ask why? So what was the factor that kind of assailed the faith that you had and moved you toward the direction of an atheist perspective?
Well, the reason I was Christian when I was young is that's pretty much how I was raised. My sister was very devout Christian, still is, and my mother used to live at work at the parish office. My father was, I don't know, I think it was at the end of his life when he realized how it was going. But already at that time, I was 23 years old when he passed away. And I've already been lost my faith and thought a lot about this. And actually, that experience when he passed away did not budge that at all. So I kept my my view on that, and I never even I never actually ever had a need to reconsider that view at all. So it just came about by thinking about things, learning about stuff, and reasoning, and yeah, pretty much.
Okay, great. Can you hold just a second? My son just called, and I think I'm supposed to pick him up, but let me check and make sure. We're going to put you on hold for just a second.
Okay.
I do apologize. I was supposed to pick up my son, but he got a ride. Okay, so I guess then was your faith was pretty much just rather cultural then? Would you say you're not terribly thoughtful about your faith or had good reasons for it?
Well, it was quite a naive kind of faith. I mean, it's very emotional. And I think I always had this tendency to devote myself to things. Still do, I suppose. So I guess those are the traits that really got me there. And yeah.
Okay, so if I may then press you as to your perspective, how is it from your perspective as an atheist, do you justify the existence of the universe?
I don't.
Okay, it's not something you're interested in thinking about, or?
Well, there's nothing I can. I mean, that's to the limits of my understanding. You know, it's not practically. It doesn't have any practical impact on my life at all. The universe is here. I experience it the way I do, and most people experience it the same way. And that's the premises of why we are here. I mean, it is, and that's it.
Okay, so you don't have any questions as to why you have this moral capacity within you to value existence?
Is that a moral capacity to value
existence? Yeah, you're opposed to murder, right?
That's now you're leaping, I think. To value existence is not something moral. I mean, existence itself is not a moral stance. You know, I can acknowledge that there is existence, and I have to accept that. But to value life, that's an entirely different thing. You know?
Okay, but do you agree that you are determined to value life?
No.
No? So you don't believe in jail, you don't believe in policemen or anything like that?
You're leaping. I don't see the connection.
Well, you believe that there's such a thing as justice, right?
I think there is such a thing as justice, yes.
And how is justice
separated? Justice is not a property of nature. Justice is a property of society.
Okay. And so are all justice systems based upon the idea that existence is special?
I think justice is a way to organize the society. It's something we have chosen to do because we have evolved into being social species. So in order to create a system where there is predictability and where you know what to expect, and there really is no reason to differentiate between people, because there is no reason to differentiate between people. We are essentially equally in value. So you have to, in order to coexist and not succumb to just the will of the powerful, you have to have some functioning social system, and justice is part of that.
Okay, so what's the problem with giving authority to powerful?
Well, if you want to give power to the people who really understands how to use it responsible.
Those who know how to value existence with their power?
Well, we all have to make sure that the people in power don't misuse their power.
Right, that they destroy existence with their power, right?
Well, that's very easy to do. If you have power and not any, I mean, if you don't have any system where you can hold the powerful responsible.
Responsible for what? Responsible for what?
For society.
For valuing existence?
Well,
words,
you have to
destroy existence? Anyone's
existence.
Okay, but you said existence doesn't matter. So, but your whole premise is that justice is based on the value of existence, and we should stop people who do not value existence, but you say existence doesn't matter.
I didn't say that. I mean, what I mean is anyone's no one is more worth than anyone else, essentially.
Are all equally valuable then?
All are equally valuable, yes.
But you just said a minute ago that nobody is, we're all equally invaluable.
I said what?
You said all of us are equally invaluable, that none of us are better than the other, none of us matters. That's what you said 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, everyone is equally valued, or should be valued equally.
Okay, they should be valued. So there's a moral imperative to value people because they're intrinsically valuable?
Well, I know where you're going, But I think we're not talking about naturally intrinsical value. As I said earlier, justice is not a property of nature. Justice is something we have invented in order to create society.
So value doesn't really exist. We just fantasize that it does.
Value, value is a multifaceted word. I mean, it can mean a lot of things. But if you mean if you should differentiate between how we treat different people, there is no reason to do that.
Do you think that though you should treat people as if they are valuable, objectively?
I think we should treat people equally.
As if they were valuable, not as if they were a piece of trash, right?
Hmm?
Not as if they were a piece of trash. We should treat them as if their lives mattered, right?
Yeah.
But their lives don't matter.
Why do you say that?
Because that's what you said.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, you think that humans have intrinsic value?
No.
I'm sorry?
No.
Are humans valuable or invaluable?
If you mean by intrinsic value, if that's a property that they have been given by themselves, no. We must choose to give people value.
Given by themselves? I don't know what you mean.
We have to value people. We have to value people.
Why?
Because otherwise there could not be a sustainable society.
Yeah, but you said society has no purpose.
I didn't say that.
Oh, I thought you were saying that that there is no purpose to our being. There is a purpose to our being?
I think you are confusing a lot of concepts here now. I didn't say that there's no purpose in society.
Okay, so society has an objective purpose.
Society is something we create together.
Right, it's made up of humans, but each one of those humans has no value? Has no intrinsic value?
No, naturally intrinsic value. No, we have to give them. We have to accept that we have to treat people equally.
Why?
That gives them equal value.
Because there's no reason. What reason do you have for that?
To create a prosperous and prosperous and predictable and a society and a way of living that is better than if we were left on our own accounts. It's something we create because we choose to create it.
Okay, and if somebody doesn't choose to create that, is there something wrong with it?
Well, it's not beneficial to society.
Yeah, but is there something wrong with them?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so you don't believe in judges, you don't believe in police, you don't believe in prison.
Yes, I do.
Okay, then you think that you should impose your view upon others because you have more power than them.
It's not my views.
Well, the collective view of the people is that we should suppress certain people because we have the power to do it.
It's not because we have the power to do it, because it should only be done if what they do is infringing on other people's rights.
Right. Oh, human rights. So humans have intrinsic rights.
They have. We can choose to give them rights. We should choose to give them rights.
Why should we? Who says?
Because, as I said, we have to make a society that is functional.
Why?
Because that's more beneficial to us.
Beneficial for what? There's no reason.
Yeah. Why isn't there any reason? You know, if we are left to our own existence, no one is protecting us. We have to protect ourselves.
Why?
Everyone is working against each other.
Yeah, but if it doesn't matter, why bother?
Why bother what?
Why bother to care about existence if it's ultimately just meaningless? Why do you struggle so much for something that's not true?
Because I live.
Yeah, but that's just a just so story. You're just saying, well, it's just I value existence because I value existence. That's a circular argument. What is the reason for your valuing something that is ultimately invaluable or unvaluable? You act like life really matters, but then if I ask you to give me a reason for it, remember, you're all about reason. Your atheism is about reason. You can't give me a reason. You know you have the feeling that it matters. It's a strong feeling that you have. In fact, if your neighbor is being molested, you go and you attack and try to protect that neighbor, but you can't give a reason for it. If I ask you the reason, you said, oh, I did that for no reason, because their life doesn't matter, but I act like it does. Is that just a crutch you make up so that you can make it through life?
You're making a caricature of my view. You don't exactly listen to what I say. You listen to what you want to hear, and you listen to what you want to understand about atheists. You want to make me look like I don't have any moral views at all, or I don't have any moral justification for anything.
No. You have moral views. Yeah, you don't have a justification. I've been doing this over 10 years, John. I'm not one atheist that could answer the question. Not one.
But you have to differentiate between if I actually answered or if you accept my answer. That's two different things.
You haven't answered yet. Go ahead.
Yes, I have answered, but you don't accept the answer.
What is your answer? That we are invaluably valuable.
Invaluably invaluable.
You say that our lives don't matter, but that our lives really matter.
I never said our lives don't matter. Why do you say these things?
You said we're equally...
You misrepresent my views.
I don't mean
you oversimplify and you just make connections that simply are not there.
Okay, well, help me out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have to re-ask the question.
Okay.
What was the question?
How do you justify the feeling that you have that life matters when it really does not matter, objectively speaking?
I don't. I never said life doesn't matter.
Well, you said we are all equally invaluable. I don't know. You didn't say invaluable, but you said we equally, our lives don't matter.
How do you arrive to the conclusion that life doesn't matter?
I'm sorry?
There's no connection there. There's no connection between that statement and saying that there is no value in life. There's no connection there.
There's no connection in saying that life doesn't matter, but life does matter?
I never said life doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. You're saying things I don't say. Why do you misrepresent my... This is why I was skeptical to this in the beginning. You don't want to listen to what I'm saying. You want to make a caricature of what I'm saying.
I have no doubt with that, my friend.
And make connections that are not there.
Okay, so human life is objectively valuable.
Human life is valuable because we have to choose it. That's what it is. If we are going to live in a society, that's what we have to go by.
Right. And so that is something we should do because it's objectively true, right? Because society really doesn't matter. Society is just a collection of people.
I don't know what you mean about objectively true. What do you mean by that?
Is it a fantasy that you impose upon reality, or does it really exist? Like 2 + 2 = 4 is objectively true. Humans are valuable is either objectively true or you just lie to yourself and say it's true when it's not really true. If it's purely subjective, it's just a fantasy you make up. It's not really true. You pretend that people are valuable.
I don't see that there is any reason why I should value my life more than other people's lives, except that I have to protect myself.
Okay, so you do value your life though, right?
If we are going to coexist, we have to acknowledge that I have to have my space and protect myself and my things and my properties and whatever I have need to do to survive. And so do I to you. I have to respect that you have to have what you need to do to sustain yourself and everything you have and protect your family and everything else. And we have to coexist. So how do we do that? Well, I can say that I want to have your food, but I can't take your food because I am not more entitled to your food than you are. If you have acquired that food, that's your property, and you have the right to protect it. Right. And so, and to me too. So there really is no difference between you and I. We have the same rights to uphold ourselves.
Yeah, you're saying all humans have intrinsic rights. And how do you justify that? Because you say that their lives ultimately don't matter. Human rights are based in objective value of the person.
No, I say there is no reason not to.
But you have to give the reason why it is so, especially from the atheist perspective.
No.
You act like life is very important, but then when you're asked to justify it rationally, you say, well, no, it really doesn't really matter.
I just rationalized it to you.
No, you just gave me a just so story. You just said, well, I can't take from others because therefore because they'll do the same thing to me. It's called the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
I don't have any right to take anything from you. And you
don't have
any right to take anything from me.
Because you have rights that are intrinsic to you, right?
Well, if you don't live by that rule, there is chaos.
Yes, and chaos means that life is not valued.
No, it means that someone thinks that some lives matter more than others.
But then you said at the beginning, nobody's life really matters.
Not by nature.
Okay, well, that's what nature is. What's objectively true, right?
Yeah, we live in nature, yes, but we have created society in the nature. So society is another layer on top of it. You know, it's something we have done. We have evolved to do this. We are social creatures, and that's why we have some great success. We wouldn't be that successful if we wouldn't be able to live socially.
Yes, but success is a goal for you, but you said there are no goals, not objectively. I mean, you can fantasize that there's a goal, but it's not really true. Your life also doesn't matter.
It's beneficial to be successful.
Right, and to be beneficial is the goal, right?
Well, it's better to be.
It's better to not exist, right?
Well, if we can, don't you think that it's better to achieve a higher degree of comfort than not?
No, what you're doing is you're saying you have that feeling that it's true, but objectively you say there's no reason, there's no purpose, there's no goal to the evolution.
I'm differentiating between nature and society.
Well, society is unnatural, then, is what you're saying. Society doesn't follow what's objectively true.
Now,
so
society is objective in that it's you can tell it's there, you can see the consequences of it, but we have chosen to do it. It's something we choose to do.
Yes, but we don't choose to do it because we're reasonable. We choose to do it because we're unreasonable. Because reason would tell us that life doesn't matter.
No, reason is that it increases comfort.
Okay, and we increase comfort toward the goal of existence, right? So that your life can last as long as possible. Yeah, why are you programmed to value that which has no value? Where did that program come from?
Why isn't it valuable to be more comfortable?
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be comfortable. I'm saying, what is your logical, rational reason for saying that you have been determined indeterminately to value existence? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't need to value existence. I can choose not to. I can just
quit. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you, right? We should put people like that in jail who believe that on other people, right?
No, I can choose to end my life. That's what I'm saying.
And
if I don't value existence, I could just quit.
And why is it that people get up and eat breakfast every day rather than just starve to death?
Well, ask everyone. Why do you?
Well, why don't you ask the question for yourself as to why are we determined to value existence when that's a lie?
You're doing it again. Well, I never said existence is a lie.
No.
You misrepresent my views. You grab things out of thin air. There's no argument here.
Listen, John, I think I need to get going. I'm kind of worried about my son. I think I forgot to pick him up, and he may need to get a ride home.
Yeah, but I don't think you're honest here. I think you're trying to paint a picture of me that does not represent what I mean, I'm not very good at explaining things.
Okay, well, I mean, in all charity, I think that maybe you're not understanding the point I'm trying to make. It's a very simple argument.
I think you're trying to get me to go somewhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you to think consistently, but you don't want to do that. And I'm not saying you're ignorant.
I think you don't want to accept my answers. You don't get the answers you want, so you pretend like you don't hear answers. You pretend like I'm trying to avoid your answers, but I'm actually not.
No, I just don't think you're following the logic.
I think we think very differently.
Okay, well, I hope not. We all need to be able to thinking along the same lines. But anyway, you've been very kind to entertain me, and it's kind of a short one. But it's very cold here right now, and I'm worried about my son. I need to go pick him up. He said he'd find a ride, but I'm worried that he didn't. So I need to check on him. But anyway, you've been very kind, and I appreciate your having a conversation with me, John. And maybe we can chat again in the future.
Possibly.
Okay. All right. We'll see you. Have a good one.
Have a nice day.
All right. Good night.
Bye.